Hello, Philippine accountants, future agency owners. We're coming to you live from downtown Metro Manila. Actually, I'm in Metro Manila, and Coach Yan Yan is in Batangas, also known as the Jungle. Good evening, Coach Yan Yan. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. I'm good. I'm in the jungle. Sorry for the background noise. But
That's
yeah,
okay.
good
Uh,
evening.
So tonight we're addressing this recording, this Facebook Live, to specifically the Philippine accounting community, and we're talking about Jumpstart your freelance accounting career, and Marianne is a partner with us here at Bedrock, and we're going to talk specifically about what the Jumpstart community is all about. So, Coach Yanyan, if you don't know Coach Yanyan, she's somebody that you want to follow. There's a reason why we asked her to be a partner with us because she really knows the accounting community in the Philippines. And so, Coach Yanyan, you want to give us a brief summary of your take on what Jumpstart is all about?
Yeah, actually, when Joe mentioned to me that he's planning to create a community for those people who really want to s- to build their agency, but the thing is, this is a long overdue discussion since we met since 2022 that there's a shortage of good accountant. So from then on, we create some solution how to solve this a huge problem, not globally, not only in the US, but all over the world. So that's why we have the continuous learning. We provide US tax course and payrolls to really ensure that we really serve the US market. But this year or last year, he mentioned he wants to create a community, particularly for those who really wants to build an accounting firm. Because let's all be honest, even me myself, I mentioned this before. If you ask me what's my goal for 5 years from now, I always say I want to build my own agency. So as an accountant CPA, let's not be hypocrite that this is your dreams, right? Because if you have a business, this is something that will really gives you an opportunity to help. This is a big I think dream of all accountants or those who have entrepreneur mindset. So this is where it started. So we're creating a community now, particularly for those accountants, Filipino accountants in the Philippines who really want to start an agency.
Yes, that's that's a good summary. That's a good overview. Uh, what I like to do, I like, I'm a historian. I say, how did this start? And it wasn't really an idea that anybody had in particular. It started with me building my team in the Philippines and coming to the realization that, yeah, the United States has a severe shortage of accountants. But what I've come to learn is it's not just in the United States, it's like a worldwide epidemic. Okay. And it's happened over decades. It's just become accounting is not uh, like the preferred profession for young people. When a young person just has to decide to uh, go into college, not enough people are choosing accounting. At least not like it was for me 40 years ago. Everybody wanted to be an accountant. And without getting into the whole, cause and effect, why is this the way it is? It is. And what I learned, Marianne, is that I had been trying to scale my accounting practice for decades, from trying to find people locally in the U.S. to finding any other country that I could get somebody to work with, and none of them worked. If it worked, I wouldn't have started hiring Philippines. So how I came across the Philippine community was my coach and friend Larry Broughton. He had started a company called Hire My VA, and my first hire wasn't even an accountant. It was Janine. We hired her to do graphic design. And I said, wow, she's great. She works. And then we hired another Philippine VA, and then I started hiring Philippine accountants. And what happened was amazing. It almost shocked me. I said, how come, I'm having success with Philippine accountants when I didn't have success with the rest of the world? I don't know how I skipped over the Philippines when I was looking for somebody. Uh, anyway, so we built the Bedrock team, all Philippine freelancers, well, remote workers, and I saw, number one, it helped them go from their brick and mortar jobs. Some of them, it helped reunite them with their families, and that was heartwarming for me. Also, it did a tremendous service for me trying to grow my accounting business and for our clients. And what I decided back in, what was it, October 2022, right? I didn't know, well, yeah, I knew you because we had started the classes already. And I said, you know what, let me meet Marianne, let me meet the rest of my team. And that evolved into the first Jumpstart event, right? And that's where we had John Pagalion, we had Coach Kaji, and it was actually your first speaking engagement, right?
Yeah.
And it was a success, and we said, hey, let's do that again, only now we have one event under our belts. Let's do another event. And we brought Larry Broughton in from the United States, and he was a keynote speaker. And again, we had over 100 attendees. It was a big success, and there was a lot of excitement created about what we were doing. We were showing Philippine accountants how they could, number one, work from home, number two, get their own clients, and then eventually build their own team and have an agency, right? But the events are a big undertaking, and you could ask Janine about that. It took a lot of time and resources, months of planning, marketing, and we decided as a team, and Janine was happy about this, we're not doing events like this anymore. And I remember you were at the dinner, and I asked Larry, I said, what do we do with all this energy? And what did he say?
Let's do it.
He said, we build a community, right? And you're an expert at that. You've built communities, you have the accounting peoples. And so we decided, okay, let's build this community. And then we had to decide, well, what exactly is our mission going to be with this community? Because it's not just, you can't just have, oh, let's have the Jumpstart Your Freelance Accounting community. And what did we come up with?
Let's help with those, of course, all Filipino accountant to start working remotely, and eventually our goal is to really help them to strive on this building their business and to have a support system community.
Right. The supports it, because we know how powerful it is to be part of a community. And so our mission, we got it down to one simple sentence: to show Philippine accountants how to start and build their own accounting agency. And like you said, there's steps to it, and actually they're the same steps that I took when I built my practice. I went from a full-time accounting job, right? And another thing I've learned is you don't even have to have an accounting job. We have Eileen, who is a bank manager. We have Luz, who had been working for a corporation, a Philippine corporation, for 18 years. And they both took well, Luz learned the hard way. We just threw her into the war zone. Grace and Eileen, the rest of our accounting team, were students of the Bedrock courses, which you help us launch. So you want to talk for a minute about the courses, because I think that's a big part of this community.
The course regarding what? The payroll or the US
So
tax?
yeah, we started with the 13-week course, and that
Yes.
happened because you decided to resign from Bedrock.
Yeah. So yeah, I already uh tell this story before that I resigned for Bedrock because my goal before is to really learn about US, being a tax preparer in the US, because I know for the fact that the real problem of all business owners is really tax compliance. So the way to solve those problems is to help them to have a good tax preparer, and that's why I apply in Bedrock and eventually resign.
Yeah, so your intention was to pick my brain and get the experience that
Yes.
we had in doing, and you were on a different path, and I had a lot of respect for the way that you handled it. And what you told me was, I don't want to hold you back. I don't want to be the reason why you get jammed up with your system. But I knew that you had this Facebook group. And I said, what if we start teaching? And you had 1,500 members then. What if I put together a course where we could start teaching your members how to do
Yes.
U.S. taxes? And we put a couple of feelers out there, and we had, I think, 300 or 400 people actually sign up. We only could have 100 people in the actual workshop, and we had 100 people. So probably we would have had more if we had more capacity. And we had over 50 people sign up for the first batch, the first 13-week batch. And then, and what we did was we taught people from soup to nuts how the American accounting system worked. And then we got a request to actually learn the software, right? So we put together the 5-week software, and that's actually our most popular course now. And then recently we added the payroll course, and now I'm working on a sales tax course. But these are all US based. And so the Jumpstart community, what we came up with, and I think this was brilliant. First off, we have the Facebook group, right? And that's free. So if you're a Philippine accountant or you want to become an accountant, because you don't have to be an accountant, you could just, if you want to become an accountant, Marianne has courses where, so in Marianne's group, the accounting peoples, you have a bunch of resources for people that are just starting out, correct?
Yeah, for those newbies, we call it newbies who wants to learn.
So, and you have your elite program where you have, what is it? A 13-week?
The elite program is all about, of course, the first problem that I'm seeing with those newbies is how to get noticed on their application, how to win interviews, workflow and onboarding, and of course to sustain their freelancing marketing strategy and how to example the LinkedIn of the profile optimization.
Yes. And I've said this, a lot of times, and I share it with our students. You're the best lead generator and closer, not only with clients, but in interviews. So, you know, we've been doing a series of lives every Monday the last month, where we do a deep dive into how you actually uh, approach it, and it starts with your LinkedIn profile. But now the next step, and this is how I saw it. I said, now what do people do when they have their LinkedIn profile, when they know how to do bookkeeping, and that's where I believe Jumpstart comes in, because now with Jumpstart, you could come into our community for free. You could, you know, get to know the community. We're always posting resources, references on how. So yeah, you said there's a sequence, right? And I started to talk about that. I had a full time accounting job. Then I learned how to become a remote worker. That was about 20 years ago. I learned about the technology. Now I'm a remote worker. Now I start getting clients, right? I got my first client and I said, wow, this is amazing. I don't have to drive. And not only that, I can get clients literally all around the world. Not only that, I could find people that could help that could work for me all over the world. So it was life changing. Not only for me, my first hire was my mom, and she had no bookkeeping experience. So I taught her bookkeeping, and then I taught her payroll. She helped me run my business for 15 years. But then, like I said, I was still stuck. I was still a small business owner, not able to scale. And then I meet the Philippine community. And what I realized, Marianne, is it worked for me because number one, the culture, the language, the work ethic, the strong desire to keep learning and growing as an individual, the family values that I've seen here, and so I had an idea. I said, you know, if it worked for me, it could work anywhere, anywhere in the world. And that's where I envisioned Jumpstart. I said, let's create an army of Philippine accountants that can start their own agency. Okay. And that a lot of them, so some of the people in the community, we're closing in on 1,000 members already in the Facebook community. We also have a following on LinkedIn, which you're an expert on LinkedIn. You're number 17 of the top 100 Philippine influencers to follow. So if you're not following Coach Yan Yan, you should start following her and take the first step. So we have the free community, just like you have your accounting peoples, right? And that's where all of every one of our team members, I believe, came from your accounting people's community. And so we have the community, and then we have free workshops that anyone could attend if you're in Jumpstart. But now we started the premium Jumpstart community. And this is where we're going to start doing a deep dive into number one, where are you right now? What's your background? And actually, we have a questionnaire that's going to go out. So we want to know exactly where you are now. What are your struggles? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be an agency owner? Because not everybody has the idea of becoming an agency owner. I think a lot of people would just be happy working from home. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So started working from home, and again eventually, of course, after they get more clients, they want to expand. So the next, of course, scalability and agency is the way on how to scale your business.
Yeah. So I've learned from being an entrepreneur, and we have a bunch of people here. I want to, shout out to some of them. Elle, and then we have Ellen. So there's Elle, Len, and Ellen. We have Pat's, no, Fats Dela Cruz. These are names that I don't recognize. So hopefully these are potential new.
That
Uh,
is my admin, one of my admin.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Elsie, Bess, Pauline. So I want to thank you for attending the live. If you could give us hashtag live, because what happens is if anybody has a question, you'll be part of the thread. So that works a lot. So where I see Jumpstart Premium is a lot of what we did at the grand launch, where we had Larry doing work, actual exercises, where we actually had people coming up with the name of their agency, right? So now you're going to have your own business, even if you're a remote worker. Technically, you have your own business. And one of the benefits, big benefit that I've learned about, because I know a little bit about the Philippine tax system now, if you have a job, they're taking taxes out right away. When you're a remote worker, if as long as you're not working for a Philippine company and you're not considered an employee, you get to keep 100% of what you make, correct?
Yes, but of course we don't want to encourage them as a Filipino workers or a citizen. Of course, I still encourage them at least to pay minimum of their tax.
Yeah,
So
well,
we
you
don't
still
want
got it.
to
Yeah,
have, yeah.
you just like in the United States, you're what they consider a sole proprietor. You still have to register, but you get to deduct expenses, right? You get to deduct some expenses, and you have more control over your taxes. And it's the same
Yeah.
situation in the United States. So first, we're going to guide you no matter where you are on the spectrum. If you're not an accountant, we'll show you how to learn how to do bookkeeping. Like I said, I showed my mother. She was 62 years old. A lot of people ask me, "Oh, I've had people say I'm 48, I'm too old," and I'm like, my mother was 62. She didn't retire until I started Bedrock. She didn't want to learn a whole nother system. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Another obstacle I get is I don't speak English well enough. Well, let me tell you, every one of the accountants on Bedrock, they all meet with clients. So the idea that, I'm too old, I don't have enough experience, and I don't speak English well enough, that's all a mindset. And I know you could talk to people about mindset. You
Yeah.
want to give them a few tips?
Yes.
So where it all really starts with your mindset, your attitude. So if some of the things that we've talked about here got your attention, all you got to do is the first step is to join the community. Like I said, there's a free membership. There's no obligation. You're not going to be asked to buy anything. Uh, but if you join the premium, we're going to do a lot of teaching, a lot of exercises, and little by little, we're going to take you on a journey where you're going to learn how to speak publicly. And that doesn't mean you're going to be giving uh, talks to hundreds of people like you just did. It means that you're going to learn how to, and you have this on your LinkedIn profile. We went over it, how to communicate effectively, right?
Yes.
And we're going to take you through all the steps to building your own agency, including how to build a team, okay, which you have, which I've learned how to do. What to name your company, how to get your name out there, what's your client avatar. Every step along the way, over 12 months, we have a whole program outlined. And Janine is here. Janine, if you could put the page, I think if you just go to jumpstart.ph, you'll get a good idea of what the program is. And I think that's all I have. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so again, we are really aiming, of course, we don't have a competition here. It's always a collaboration. So the more agency that we created on the Philippines, providing the needs, global, scarcity of accountant and CPA, that would be great. This is something we really look forward, that it's an ally. We want, it's like a battalion of accountants and CPA from the Philippines serving globally, US particularly, because there's 26 million small business owners in the US that needs goods accountants. So having a community and having a good agency that's, collaborating with one another is really a good start and way to really provide serving business owners. And also in that way, if we can provide more jobs to Filipinos, if you can be, the chain of blessings to other people. This is the way we're seeing it. We cannot do it alone. We need more. We need more accounting agency that support the needs of the U.S. clients.
Yes, yeah, and I like people like case studies. So I can give you a couple, uh, two from our own team. We have Rona, who was a corporate accountant, and she had to commute to her, brick and mortar. She has children, and she just wanted to be able to work from home. And now, she not only does she work from home, she sets her own schedule. She has to put the time in. She has her responsibilities. But if she has to do something with her children, if there's a school event, she can do it. Grace, who attended our first Jumpstart, and I know, she was crying. She was crying because I think she wasn't actually even supposed to be there. But what she learned was she could work from home. Now, Grace had been separated from her family for, I think, 15 years. She had to work in I believe, Manila, and her family lived in one of the provinces far away. And it's heartwarming when I see the fact that she just had a birthday party with her family, with her friends, and she hadn't had a birthday party like that in 15 years. And I see that, and I know there's a community. What do you call it? The OFW?
Yeah, OFW, Overseas Filipino Workers.
Yeah, and I know we have Annie DeSalis. I think I'm pronouncing. She has a testimonial video where she was working in another country. She came home, she prayed, and then she found you in Accounting Peoples, and then she found Bedrock, and then she got a position working from home, back with her family, making more than what she was making abroad. And then we have one of our speakers, and I love this guy, Jonathan Ruiz, who I remember he was in our first batch, and he wanted to, and again, he was working overseas. His dad got sick, and he wanted to come home so he could be with his dad and his family. And so he had to learn how to be a freelancer. And today, he spoke at our event, and it's a real success story because not only did he learn how to be a freelancer, and it hasn't been that long. I don't think I've ever seen anybody go from zero to hero as far as him. And
Yeah.
what he has now, he's got not only his own agency, he's actually got a physical office. He's got 7 full-time people. I'm like, oh my God, how did you do this so quickly? And you know what the answer is? Because
God.
he wanted to. He had a why. He had a
Yeah.
why. He said, I want to do this for my family. And now it's like it's really great to see these people take this opportunity. And me, we want to disrupt the accounting communities, right?
Yeah.
I
Disruption.
started and I want
That's
to
our word.
disrupt the American accounting community. Now I'm like, why not do it for the whole world, right?
Yeah.
So it's a journey. So if you're watching this, uh, join the community. Janine, if you could put the Facebook link in the chat, uh, let's have anybody that these stories resonate with, that thinks that they might benefit from joining a community like this. Join. Take the first step. Okay. If you decide you want to be an agency owner, join the premium. If you decide, hey, I just wanted to learn how I could work from home and be with my family, join the community. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my story. Our mission is to change the world, one Philippine accountant at a time. Uh, what can you lose? You have nothing to lose. What do you say about that, Mariana?
Yes, because I think I always say this, our profession, especially is accounting. That's why we're here really echoing this message to all of who's watching, that the opportunities is already in front of you. All you have to do is join our mission, because in that way, after you help yourself to build your agency, you're going to help more people. So this is, I think, what's the really, living significantly, or living in significance, significant life.
Yeah,
So sooner or later you will really realize that, especially if you have a lot of clients and you don't know how to handle it anymore, you really want to move forward, but sometimes you're holding back. But Jumpstart will help you identify those bottlenecks and those roadblocks along the way. So you cannot do it alone. So it's important to always have a support system that can answer your concerns immediately. This is Jumpstart is all about.
yeah. That's a great point, and I like to end it on a positive note. You can't do it yourself. I couldn't do it myself. I had been looking for, like I said, for decades for the right combination. It started with Larry Broughton, and his saying is live a life of significance. Okay, and that's what I believe we are doing. So join Jumpstart. You have nothing to lose, and I guarantee you won't regret it. God
Yes,
bless.
it was
Over and
going to
out.
start on, before we close. I think we'll start this coming Saturday, so that's why we're inviting you to join us. It is the start of Jumpstart Premium, and I think this for June. Just give you an idea, it will be all about public speaking.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah.
have. Thanks, Janine. Janine just posted the link, and we also have a couple of fans. Israel, it was great having you at the event. We have Bless B, we have Hannah, uh, Binkst. So if I didn't mention you, Annabelle, we have. Uh,
Hannah, Janine.
yeah. So these are all your groupies. So, all right.
Hi, accounting people.
That,
Yes, good evening.
yes, that's our story. We're sticking with it. God bless, and I hope to see you in the Jumpstart community. Thank you.
Bye, guys.